Hi friends, good evening. Welcome to UPSC World. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy. Today in this particular video, we will try to discuss how the Indian federalism was made a more flexible one compared to all the classical federations in the world. When we enacted a constitution for independent India, we have before us the experience of other federal constitutions in the world. So one drawback with the existing federal constitutions in the world is a rigidity and a legalism. So to overcome the fault lines in the existing federations, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has made the following changes in the Constitution of India. The first thing, unlike the American and Australian constitutions, which are in a tight mold of federalism, the Constitution of India can be both federal and unitary depending on the circumstances. In normal times, it is a federal constitution, but in emergency times, it becomes a unitary constitution. Unlike India, the other federal constitutions like USA and the Swiss constitution, they can never become unitary in any kind of circumstances. That's one kind of flexibility which we have built in. And when it comes to the second flexibility which was brought into the Indian constitution, see, if you want to amend the American constitution or the Australian constitution, the procedure prescribed has been made very rigid. So, keeping in mind the requirements of adapting the constitution to the changing circumstances, the members of the Constituent Assembly, including Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, with a lot of wisdom, made the amendment of the Indian constitution much more easy compared to the classical federations. So, if you want to amend the American constitution, you need an amendment to be approved by the American Congress by special majority. In addition to that, you need the support of 3/4 states in USA. Unlike in USA, in India, most of the provisions of the Indian Constitution can be amended by the Indian Parliament unilaterally by simple majority. And only when it comes to the federal provisions, where there is a distribution of powers between the center and the states, the involvement of the states is required. In such a situation, a constitutional amendment bill needs to be approved by the parliament by special majority, a majority of the total membership, and 2/3 of the members present and voting. And then each such amendment has to be given approval by half of the states. A good example for this kind in the recent past is the 101 amendment related to GST. So in India, half of the states, if they give approval, that is sufficient with respect to amending the federal provisions. But in America, every amendment needs the approval of 3/4 states. That's why we say the American Constitution is the most rigid constitution. In the last 220 years of its existence, the American Constitution was amended only 28 times. But Indian Constitution in the last 75 years, it has been amended more than 106 times. This speaks about the flexibility of the Constitution. In addition to this, to ensure uniformity in a diverse nation and to avoid anarchy and conflicts in the different kinds of laws in this country, we had a common civil law, criminal law, and an evidence act throughout the country. It is deliberately designed to have an integrated judiciary for the entire country to manage the diversity. In a country with a federal constitution, there is bound to be a lot of diversity in laws among the states. Sometimes this diversity will create a lot of inconvenience to the citizens. Keeping this in mind, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has provided for an integrated judiciary with one set of courts both for the center and the states. And the Civil Procedure Code, Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, and the Indian Evidence Act, and many more like these laws were uniformly implemented throughout the country. So this will try to forge national unity and try to avoid unnecessary confusion and disturbance in the working of the Indian Constitution. In addition to this, in times of emergency, the union government can take over the administration of the states. So the country can become unitary when national emergency is declared. Not only that, even in times of normal situations, the parliament can make legislations on the items in the state list. So this again gives flexibility to the Constitution of India to work the Indian Constitution in a better way. Unlike the classical federations, which had both central services and provincial services, the Indian Constitution, in addition to the central and state services, has also provided for all India services. All India services, they play an important role in protecting the unity by acting as the eyes and ears of the union government. They also maintain the standards of administration both at the union level and at the state level. And in addition to that, we had a number of items in the concurrent list which help in creating uniformity in the areas where it is required. In addition to that, to have a strong central government to keep the country united, in the union list, more than 98 items were carved out for the union government. This is again a deviation from the classical federations. This is how the Federal Constitution of India differs from the classical federations, having lot of inbuilt flexibility to suit to the requirements of the country. Thank you and all the best.